I'm live here and nobody's on yet, so I'm just going to go ahead and speak. These ones over there, they're saying that the oracles, the new leaders, the chosen ones or whatever, they're advertising themselves, so they're upset that people are actually listening to you. They're advertising yourself. They're like, oh, we got to stop this. Well, it ain't going to be stopped this time. Not this time. Not this time. This time. Hello. Hello, everybody. It's June 5th, 2026. Thought I'd stop in for a live. Hey. Upon rising, I heard somebody demand to know, what have you been doing to these people? And somebody commented when I mentioned that earlier. They said they didn't know. That's dangerous. And I'm like, yes, because these people had been casting illusions and ensnarements using angelic energy, potent, high value, golden royal energy, and then mimicking us. So those who did not know what was actually happening to the real angelics, they were locked out of our minds. And we had no way to be heard. Somebody broke through that ensnarement and busted open the whole freaking scenario. Just in case y'all wanted to know why nobody ever did anything, it's because the captives had their crowns cursed while somebody was up there mimicking their identity. So the captives have been freed, the curses have been broken, and now all their stories have been researched and investigated, and it is not looking good for those who have been casting illusions over the last many thousands of years. Hello. Going to go ahead and check in with the planetary circumstance to see what's going on, see what comes through. We got some major shifts going on. We got some attempts to ensnare batteries, which would be those who have soul, S-O-L, the inner sun, and but God said that this is the end of their relationship with batteries. So we're going to see how that goes. He also said that the sun will never show for them again. So that could, the word show could be the dancing bunny, freaking show that they got going on. They siphon the energy out of the true angelic, and then they have somebody wearing that energy, and then they do a dancing show with scantily clad, gyrating, whatever on the stage. That's what they do to the stars, and that's what they painted us as. And that isn't what we were doing. We were home working our jobs, trying to keep our life together while they try to destroy our minds. So, alrighty then. Somebody is in a tower. Somebody's in a tower. In the challenge position, they're thinking about your life of luxury. Nasty, mean MNFers. You're independent. You're not codependent. You owe no debt. They do not own you. They don't possess you. They don't own any strings, cords, attachments that they can utilize to pull or drive your life in any way. In the subconscious, Seven of Cups. Somebody is in a tower for mind effing divine feminine, trying to get her life of luxury. They've really been mind effing a lot of the suns and stars. They've been trying to say that we were insane. They tried to say that we were a faulty model of humanity. Yes. In the recent past, we've got the King of Wands here. With an intention or an expectation of persevering. Flow state. In the near future. We've done our research. We got the Hermit here. The analysis has been made. Complete. The lens is being looked through. Page of Wands. You know, this is interesting that everybody wants to know when, names, dates, times, and everybody ought to know right now that, first of all, time is an illusion. And second of all, divine strategy and such doesn't answer questions like that. It'll be when things are in alignment, when it happens, when it's ready, it's ready. When the chips are ready to fall, they'll fall where they may. So what we have here in the environment is we have the Four of Swords. So there is a rest, recovery, and renewal. A return to wholeness. It's the end of this nasty business with these men and their little Jezebels coming after you to steal your identity and your life of luxury. It's the end of them calling you a peasant and a commoner when the wealth that they have been hoarding and abusing has come from you. Hopes and fears. Queen of Cups is in the reverse. Somebody who, without any love in them, they're withdrawing, they're defenseless. I don't know why I said defenseless. The moon card. Somebody's afraid. And again, they're trying to poison the body by doing injections into the arm spaces. They try to, the devil is afraid. Something could be hidden by a codependent person. There could be some anxiety being experienced by codependent people. Sticking needles, sticking barbs. Getting drunk and driving cars. Yeah, so you were able to remain flexible during this scenario. So you're getting a renewal in love, Two of Cups and Lovers. Ew, darling, it's gonna be so fabulous. Yes, because these fake romance, Mr. Whatever, that brought trauma to the Divine Feminine, they're getting cut out. They're done. Romance, this game of romance is over. The Empress is being very generous, or maybe she's being very generous with her strength, with her dharma, with her nurturing energy, with her Nine of Pentacles wealth. She's sharing it. And these people are really pissed off, man. She persevered, and there's an ending to this. And there's also a Knight of Wands here. Determined and fearless in the face of this conflict, bringing temperance and judgment, or judgment for what these nasty asses have been doing to the temperance angels. They're going to be in regret, and they know that they have failed. Why? Because you're coming home. You've been liberated from death. And there is a new collaboration. There's a homecoming. You've been liberated by death, and you're coming home. That's what it is. You've been liberated by death. So you've been judged or whatever by death, and you've been seen worthy of life or whatever. It's like God he's like, with this, the lion and the jaguar are in union. The bridge was repaired. And so now it's like death is making its evaluation, doing its analysis around this stuff, doing God and the death, or the angel of life and the angel of death, all this stuff, the Alpha and the Omega, they're back together. The bridge has been built, the sacred light, sacred shadow. These people are like, dark attachment, dark attachment. See, they believe in divide and conquer. They don't want the crown and the root. They don't want the light and the shadow. They don't want the sacred connection that brings proper symbiosis and stability here in the middle realm. These bark beetles are in a tower for fucking around with the minds of the divine female, and casting illusions regarding her crown and her work that she's been doing here. She's getting, yep. There's the sun and the star rejuvenating, rebuilding, rebirthing with their creativity, their passion. Somebody's afraid because of your transformation. Because of your transformation in the history from what they have done to you. You're leaving behind a legacy for the children in your triumph over this divine feminines. You have overcome, you have persevered, and nasty ass Jack is gonna stop freaking sodomizing the children. They're getting lifted up right on out of here. They're a fool. We're getting a new beginning. It's just the way it is. The female is the new gatekeeper. Queen of Pentacles. Gatekeeper of the money. The female is the new gatekeeper of the money, the wealth. Because they bound her to the thing and then nearly sucked the entirety of the celestial soul out of her. And they said, but it was working. But they were depleting and completely snuffing out celestial beings, recklessly trying to be responsible in the damage that they have caused, trying to cast the illusion that they didn't, but they completely screwed up and unalived themselves, and we've been carrying the dead weight of these beings. It's been partial resets before because the contract was kept in this environment, but a celestial stepped in. Celestial Father stepped in and said, nope, 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 interfered. The contract null and void. Osiris said, you know what, there was a liberation. Death has liberated the divine feminines, and now that there's the reality, the scene, what was done to them, because the crown was cursed and hexed and wrapped while somebody else was interfering and intervening in the intellectual property. Now everything is seen. Everybody's like, what have you been doing to these people? Well, yeah, these people are in trouble. These devils, there's fear for the devil. They're afraid. They're having anxiety. They could be trying to hide something. Somebody might be afraid of the devil. Let's see here. We got a tower. Incomplete. They were not able to complete the mission of obliterating and genociding the humanity. Nope, they're not going to do it. They're not going to snare us and trap us into this false illusion of utopia. And our inner soul, our sun, is not going to fuel them as a battery. We're not going to be carrying the weight of the dead this chapter. We're going to get our own prosperity, and we're going to be able to spend our wealth and have the life that God intended for us to have. The life of success that they have been living belonged to the people, innocent people. You're getting a legacy, a life of luxury. This wealth belongs to you. You're innocent. These people are in a tower, and whatever they were doing is incomplete because you are innocent. They've been trying to twist and cast the illusion that what it is you've been doing is this or that. They've been speaking rote, and if they've been repeating it often enough, and they say it often enough, and they're word magicians and they're hypnotists. So it's been working because they've had the angelic energy of the trapped beings to fuel their baneful magic with this illusionary circumstance. It was false. So they're incomplete because they were casting illusions through the minds of the feminines. They were running programs, this Wi-Fi tower streaming of radio shows and freaking movies and these memories, these things that they've been flashing into your mind. Like a lot of this stuff, these visions and stuff, they don't belong to you. It's not stuff that you saw. It's not stuff that even belongs in your mental body, but they're projecting this shit into your mind, trying to cast the illusion that it's what's happening in your world, and it simply isn't. It's an infiltration. They're using towers to bring towers to the minds of the divine. Innocent people who have a life of luxury coming to them, who have a powerful soul and source connection, powerful love and compassion. They wanted your wealth. All they had to do is take your life and your identity, fuck up your mind, drive enough insanity and anger and rage through your mind. But what's running through the mental body isn't what's running through the soul. So they were saying this was you, when God can see that your love and your light is powerful. They don't match. And this spell, this sorcery, only lasts for 3 hours or up to 3 days. So over the last 2 years, the consistency of the personality or the identity is seen. They've been casting severe illusions over the minds of the people. Sacrificing them by casting the illusion that what they've been running through the receiver, the transmitter receiver, the communications device, original organic source connected system, sacrifice, action is being taken. They wanted to sacrifice you. You're charging forward with purpose. Or action is being taken here. Tower, incomplete, sacrifice. They were fucking with the mind of divine feminine to bring a tower to her mind. And now the tower is on them. Their tower is incomplete. They were fucking with the mind of the divine, trying to do a sacrifice. You were innocent, and you're going to get your life of luxury. What they ran through your communications device of the instrument of a celestial holding the energy and the identity of a celestial being was not source connected. It was chaos from the towers trying to bring a tower to the mind of somebody they were trying to sacrifice, a female. They couldn't do it. And now what they did and what they've been doing, not only in this lifetime, but over the last many thousands of years of lifetimes, for not only this person, but all the people, is seen. King of Wands in the recent past, a visionary, powerful leader. Ooh. Weakness. Your inner strength remains intact. It's your faith in it that's faltering. So while the King of Wands may have faltered in his faith, he persevered. His inner strength remained intact. Enterprise. There's an enterprise. So then this Knight of Pentacles has an enterprise. The master of material success makes wise investments. He turns plans into profit. King of Wands, Knight of Pentacles. even when they felt weak, even when their faith faltered, their inner strength remained intact. So there could be some kind of an enterprise. They call it a, what do these guys have been calling a conglomerate, which is a gathering of various corporations or entities to create one global kind of a thing. There could be something going on worldwide. We've got the Hermit here. Doing your research, shining a light on stuff. Making an analysis regarding accountability. The golden rule, do unto others as you'd have them do unto you. There are still some folks out here with clear intentions, nefarious, and they obviously aren't changing their mind. But God said that their intentions shall be their reward or their gift or whatever. So that's that. True remorse emerges along with a willingness to take responsibility for past actions. It could very well be that, you know, there's some, the research has been done. Folks are going to be held accountable for what they have done. The Page of Wands is here. What's going on with the Page of Wands? Clarity. Failure. So somebody who was optimistic and moving with something in passionately has clarity and awareness of a failure. Tower, incomplete. They were not able to take the sacrifice. They were not able to sacrifice divine feminine and take her wealth. She's going to recover, and this is the end of these men competing with women, trying to destroy them for their celestial, spiritual wealth and identity. I can't believe they've been actually calling themselves men, and they've been beating up women, fighting with women. They've been in competition with women because the women have the spiritual wealth. They don't. That's what it's all about. It's about your celestial rainbow covenant. And these men don't like women. But they need the covenant wealth. Victory. So divine feminine, you're in a Four of Swords recovery renewal. You are bringing an end to this. This is a completion of this nasty ass bullshit. You're victorious over nasty Jack. You're victorious over nasty Jack posing as a Queen of Wands. Sorry, Queen of Cups in the reverse. Nasty Jack, who hates women, but needs to tap into the energy of a valuable woman to gain her wealth, her spiritual covenant, and her energetic identity or spiritual identity. They fucked with her mind over and over and over again, trying to sacrifice her, and they failed. That tower is going to come back on them. It's back on them right now. And they're still out there plotting and planning and scheming on how to continue to do it. And they know the first thing they're going to do to her. This is a man posing as a woman, and there's no love in this prick. Divine feminine, you have a victory over nasty motherfucker in competition with your you for your soul covenant, your rainbow covenant, and your celestial identity. This piece of shit man, wanting to be and feel like a woman, was in competition with you, trying to fuck your mind, break your heart, and step in as your spiritual, celestial identity. Bad luck. This fucker is going to get a whole lot of bad luck. A whole lot of bad luck is going to be delivered to this POS by sovereign people. They've just earned themselves a whole lot of bad luck because of what they've been doing to the actual sovereignty. You have a victory, Divine Feminine. You are sovereign and free. And these men who have been wearing your identity are fucked off in a bad way. They're going to get a whole lot of bad luck. If it wasn't for bad luck, I wouldn't have no luck at all. Oh, get ready, Nasty Jack. Because we're reclaiming our sovereignty and our personal power. Jack, we've been liberated from you and your fucked up third-party competition. Codependent motherfuckers are afraid right now. They could be afraid of the devil that they are in allegiance to, their God. So we've got somebody's afraid of the devil. They were deceived by the devil. Somebody's hiding their codependency. There could be hiding this devil. What's going on with this devil? What's happening with the devil, the codependent? What the hell is this discernment? Somebody's in fear because what? You have discernment over what's going on here. You've distinguished fantasy from reality and gained the power to make realistic choices. Somebody is afraid because somebody's afraid of the devil, of this devil that they contracted with, their God, that was trying to snatch you so it could feed on you. You've got discernment over this. Yeah. So, sharing optimism. You could be sharing optimism at the crossroads. With those people who had been messed with in the mental body. You might be helping people be aware of the mental patterns that these people have been forcing through the receiver, the transmitter receiver of our beautiful brain. Self-forgiveness is medicine, you know. You may have been stuck in a pattern of repeating mistakes, but you may have been stubborn, but there has been a transformation. Or it could be that those who have been stubborn are undergoing a transformation of instability in their partnerships. There could be a transformation regarding Instability in partnerships. We might be going back to a more traditional status. Or you may have been disclosing some things about tradition. Maybe you're a new authority because of what you have disclosed regarding tradition and authority of it. They're afraid of change. Yeah, they're being asked, what have you been doing to these people? They're pessimistic, action to harshness, tearing breasts, fucking torturing people, man. We're going to be restored because they have been, these materialistic people have been spreading misinformation. They've been filing false reports to the ancestors in the celestial realms for centuries while hoarding your wealth and violating you in the most heinous way. You were able to persevere through this. You're very, so you were able to persevere through this stuff. These codependent people were keeping you in poverty because they kept harvesting your 9 of Pentacles. You're moving on now. You're moving on now. There could be some kind of delays and bickering regarding corruption. Yeah. Yeah. So we've got cooperation, mastery, and recovery. So we've got recovery for love, the masters who have mastered themselves and whatever, we're cooperating together to bring an end to this crap. Somebody's feeling foolish, hopeless, frustrated regarding this impulsive stupidity. They thought it was an adventure to bring disharmony, to influence people with disharmony. It was a great fun adventure, man. To gain an invitation into the celestial kingdom by and regeneration by bringing in balance to people. You resisted the destruction that they were bringing your way, the inequality that they had buried you under, the peasantry, and they're confused because of your reconciliation. Yeah, you're able to manifest prosperity. Why? Because the energy is yours. The energy, the 9 of Pentacles, life of luxury that they've been living was always yours. They've been siphoning it out of you. Well, you're seen to be innocent and they can't sacrifice you. The stuff that they've been transmitting into the minds of the people with their towers, bringing towers to the mental bodies is incomplete. It's an incomplete sacrifice because you are innocent. All of humanity are seen as worthy, and these people that have been hurting you and messing with you, they're undergoing a severe inquiry. Once they got an entanglement with the energy, okay, these low vibrational devils, once they got a relationship with our powerful celestial energy and the gifts that we hold, the information, the wisdom that we're connected to, they could use all of that to do baneful cursing, hexing, binding. And it was very, very powerful and effective. So effective. You know, they didn't think we were ever going to come out of it. They used our own essence against us. The resources of our own celestial realm. I'm grateful. Alrighty then, so the tower is incomplete. They were fucking around with the minds, the mental bodies of, there's a divine feminine here. I'm going to go ahead and say it because we've got divine feminine. You're going to get renewal. You've got a victory over nasty Jack, the queen of cups in the reverse. This is a man, these men who were in competition with the divine feminines for her rainbow covenant and her spiritual celestial identity. They wanted the wealth that came with that. You are victorious over them. They were unable to bring you a tower. Divine timing. It's incomplete. They were not able to do it. It's going to backfire. They're challenged because the Nine of Pentacles is yours. You're innocent. You're seen as innocent. They cannot take what belongs to those who have SOL, the inner sun in them. They cannot steal the spiritual identity of these celestial children any longer. They cannot hex, curse, and trap and fuck with their minds while wearing their identity up there. Nope, no more. That's it. It's done. And now they're extinct. I heard them say, because they can't procreate. You are innocent, and now they owe you silence. Or you were innocent, you kept silent. You kept silent. You were silent. You were silent. You weren't saying none of this. You did not, all this crap that they were using their towers out there to Wi-Fi stream anger issues, self-loathing issues, revenge issues. You know, these thoughts were not being generated by the celestial person's mind. It was a program running through relentlessly. Freaking combination of sorcery and AI technology trying to sacrifice the divine feminines. They wanted to turn the divine masculines into Queen of Cups reversed, competing with divine feminine for her identity. They wanted to twist everything when we were supposed to be in divine unions together, empowering each other with the strengths that we both hold. Torment. It was torment. They were trying to sacrifice you, torment you. It's incomplete. This curator filed death certificates 21 years ago on somebody, and probably more than somebody. This person is alive still. They've been working the whole time, living their life. And these people have been living on freaking insurance payouts for death certificates on a living person. The only reason that it's seen is because they broke through, the curse is broken, and they are seen to be who they are. And it's like, wait a minute, you filed a death certificate 21 years ago. There was this big cash 8 payout on the insurance. And what is this? What is this? It's like, oh yeah, well, oh no. And now we got to look into the past 6,000 years and what they've been doing to these people, using their own celestial energy to bind her curse and to use that their own energy to do baneful magic against them. You know how bad a celestial energy used to do baneful magic upon a celestial energy is? It's bad, man. They've been unaliving people with this shit for a long time. They've been harvesting our energy and sending us to the grave over and over and over again. When they're not harvesting our energy, everything comes back online and we retain our youth. They've been sending us to the grave over and over and over again. It looks like that's what it's going to be, Rainbow Dragon. And those who have been hurting divine feminines with their magic, trying to claim their spiritual identity. So King of Wands is a powerful leader and in the recent past, and his inner strength remained intact although his faith wavered. Song. It could be that he had a weak song. It could be that he had a weak song. It could be that this King of Wands could be this in this Queen of Cups, and it could be that whoever these people are, they could be like singers, performers who were wearing the energy of somebody, and it could be that their performance was weak. It's a weak performance. They could have a weak soul, weak light, because the Knight of Pentacles persevered, and there's an enterprise. Yeah, King of Wands is weak. He's got a weak song, a weak performance. And the Knight of Pentacles has an enterprise. Photographs, enterprise, photos. Plans into profit. He persevered through this enterprise. This could have been like, this could be the entertainment industry, and this Knight of Pentacles could be somebody who is singing, and this Knight of Wands could be somebody that tried to take his identity, but he had a weak ass performance. What's going on? Knight of Pentacles, you persevered through this enterprise. You got photographic evidence. Analysis, the Hermit here. You've done your analysis. We've got accountability. Key. So accountability, taking responsibility for past actions. The analysis has been completed. You have found the core of the problem, the key people of the problem. Well, God said that everything that would be done to them from the beginning to the end, or to her. He said to her. Okay, so take it as it resonates, man. Page of Wands is here with clarity about a failure. They're giving up. I heard somebody said that they backed off just then because God is Yes, God is with this person. This person is innocent. And these boys, these men, these assholes, these men that are wearing dresses, that are in competition for your identity, they keep coming after you, and you're innocent. You've been proven innocent. You were innocent from the beginning 6,000 years ago. And just because you've been through many lifetimes of driven failure does not mean that you were not innocent. You were innocent when they tortured you and banished you the first time, and they've been torturing you for 6,000 years. They've been torturing an innocent person for 6,000 years, and now they're trying to convict this person of being defiled and desecrated in the extreme, and never, ever, ever should be allowed back in because of what they did. The problem is that she was innocent. And she has been sanctified. And that word, she's received absolution. All that they have done to her is being removed for her. She was innocent, man. And an innocent person receiving 6,000 years of torture? And you got this nasty ass out there insisting that she's an appetizer and he should get to eat her because of everything that he did. She's so nasty, nasty, nasty. They have failed. We're letting go of the forgotten person. These nasty asses that have been living on stolen life force and on our suffering and on our spiritual identities and celestial wealth and energy, we're letting them go. I don't care about their slander. I don't care about their curses. I don't care about anything that they have to say to me. God knows the truth of it. Their interdimensional and galactic partners insist that they are going to get this woman despite everybody and everything. And so this is a war between, God and whoever these nasties are that think they're going to take you back after God has already taken you away. So we got the Four of Swords, Divine Feminine. You're receiving a recovery, a renewal. This is the World card. It's the end of this crap. You are victorious over Nasty Jack, Queen of Cups reversed, wearing a dress, wanting your identity and your celestial wealth. You're getting a new beginning. It's time for you to rest and relax. Queen of Cups reversed is going to get some very, very bad luck by Sovereignty, who is reclaiming their personal power over these toxic, dependent nasties. These men who wanted to feel like a woman needed the energy of a divine female so they could go out and be real sexy. Sixth sense, intuition, sovereignty. There's anxiety and fear of the devil. Discernment, distinguishing fantasy from reality. Somebody's afraid of codependency. Somebody's having anxiety of the devil. They contracted with an entity that they have to pay. Law. We're distinguishing fantasy from reality and gaining the power to make realistic choices regarding balancing the scales, regarding making things right, regarding reconciliation and finances. Who belongs with who, and where this money goes, and we've got Ascension. So there's discernment. There's fear for the devil because we have discernment regarding the law about where the money goes. There's reconciliation and Ascension. So, okay. The energy was always yours, and these fake women, we're breaking up with the animal. Or the cats are breaking up with these nasty jacks. Here, kitty, kitty, kitty. Yeah, motherfucker. Hey, motherfucker. Kitty likes rats. And they've all been set free. All of those curses and... Well, good there, Yo-Yo. Go ahead and go get some of that. How about that? Go get some of that there, boy. You're gonna get what you deserve, nasty Jack. Nasty as. You're gonna get what you deserve, nasty as. The only one who has authority, who has ever spoken with authority to me, is the king of that highest heavenly mountain. And when he moves his voice through you, you shall be removed from your container and placed wherever he determines you should be. Oh, I hope so, Rainbow. I keep, every time I wake up here, I'm like, man, we're still here. Oh, that's wonderful news, Rainbow Dragon. I asked my mother once what she thought the purpose of life was. My mother was very, very low vibrational, and she said, to survive. And I was like, I always thought it was to bring heaven on earth, to make it his second son. And it's just weird. I mean, it was just my internal, nobody ever said that to me. It was just what I thought. We got divine timing for the past. They incompleted a tower. Those people of the past have run into divine timing. Their tower over the divine feminine's mind is incomplete. She is innocent. And these men wanting to steal her spiritual identity and her celestial wealth while torturing here in the flesh are fucked. They like it, don't they? Nasty Jack. I wonder how many they'll have to serve at once. I saw what they were doing to the virgins over there in the other realms. I heard in their discussions as I sat present what their plans were for me, darling. So you got the Nine of Pentacles here. You're getting your life of luxury. You were innocent always, and you are. These people have to go silent in your mind. They cannot fuck with your mind anymore. They will be going silent in your mind. Now, everybody has an opinion. Let me tell you something. Substances are the devil's playground. Yes, alcohol, heroin, cocaine, meth, all this fentanyl, all this nasty ass shit that those governing officials in their biolab things make up for the freaking people, right? To open their mind, open their gates, to get them hooked and drive them into failure. It's beautiful, isn't it, for a criminal? But there are some plant medicines out there that these people have deemed drugs. And they've deemed a lot of people a lot of things. Celibate women, death certificate 21 years ago on a living woman. They said, oh, she's dead. but she's very much alive. A celibate woman not having sex, they say, oh, she's a prostitute because they've been transferring their shit orgy energy onto her. But she's celibate. They've been saying a lot of things, and none of it is valid. And we've got a lot of folks out there that like to repeat the shit because they've been hexed and cursed by a word magician, a hypnotist, and they haven't been able to break out of it. So if you want to come here and be mean and start repeating shit to me, I'm going to block you. If I catch you. So they were mind effing the divine feminine, trying to do a sacrifice. They were trying to bind her, torment her, and they did. Torment the divine feminine's mind, trying to sacrifice her. They did a death certificate 21 years ago. You know how long they fucking raped my mind? It was 22 years. For 21 years, they said I was dead while they raped my mind. And like you, I was innocent. And now they gotta fuck off. Get the fuck out of my council house. Just like they have to do for you. Get out of our mind. This is our council house, source connected, and these men trying to steal our spiritual and celestial identity have no business fucking around in this space. May every single one of them be tracked and traced and eliminated. I'm sick of it. Things falling apart. They fucked with your mind. They tormented you, trying to sacrifice you. These people, these religious people from the past, they're being met with the divine. Who can see very clearly what they've been doing to this psychic's mind. They were unsuccessful in destroying it and keeping it silent. King of Wands has a very weak performance of a high priestess. Knight of Pentacles, he's a master, he's an enterprise. He could be researching, picking up photographic evidence, souvenirs, memories, researching the memories. So there's an enterprise, there's a collective here that is bringing clarity over what's been happening to the transmitter receiver of a celestial communications instrument, divine. High priestess, and what they've been doing to these innocent divine women with their life of luxury, their wealth, while tormenting them and sacrificing them, RAPing their flesh, their energy, their minds. They're talking about doing a 3D thing. So even when they do go silent, they'll be wanting to do a 3D thing. And they will fail. Man. So there's evidence of hidden things. The Knight of Pentacles is persevering through gathering evidence. Yeah. Master of material success makes wise investments. He turns plans into profit. He's the King of Pentacles, the Knight of Pentacles. He could be working with the King of Pentacles, Knight of Pentacles, King of Pentacles. They've been researching evidence regarding what has been happening to the divine females and the children under the moon. They've been hidden. There's photographic evidence. They've been making movies and doing a bunch of bad shit on the dark web. The analysis, the Hermit here, regarding accountability. These people are experiencing true remorse. They will accept accountability. They will be held responsible. The key people, the core of the problem, have been discovered. They could be making an offer. They could be getting sacrificed to the underworld. We're not having any more devils wearing masks. They're being sacrificed. We're not dealing with any more fake angels with a devil inside there. Nope. They're being offered to the underworld. They got to go back. That's where they belong. They don't belong in the celestial realms. They've been consuming the light up there, but God said they're the new fodder. I don't know, they owe a great debt to the celestial realm for all of the children that they've been shoving down into the underworld while being up there. You know how many celestial children that they have given a full load to before they sacrificed it to go see Osiris? So that they could have the status of a celestial child, a celestial being. Yeah, we're not doing that anymore. You know, the underworld is so now you got these people who believe in divide and conquer, and that doesn't have anything to do with skin color or ethnicity. It just doesn't. It doesn't even have to do with gender. It has to do with the root and the crown of your stabilizing tree. You're the instrument divine, rooted and crowned. Here in the middle ground, planetary stabilizers. You process dense energy, you turn it into healing energy. Everything in the middle ground thrives. It's healthy. But you got the bark beetle, the invasive species coming in, these men who are flipped into this south node, I want to be a woman thing, and they're in competition with the actual divine feminine for her identity and her spiritual wealth. Her status as a soprano, an upper dimensional royal daughter. You look in the historical pictures, and the queens, I'm sorry, are not female. They've been doing this swapping for centuries. And now it's over. Due to your patient realignment while being tortured and tormented and sacrificed over and over. They're upset because you kept reincarnating and making them fight for this over and over again. And this time, you have victory. So the Page of Wands now has clarity regarding the failure of this setup, this criminal behavior. They're being let go, or we have to give up and let go of this old, forgotten person. There is a release of these old, forgotten religious people who have been torturing divine feminines and the children of celestial realms for centuries. Because you have spoken up Your energy is bringing life and vitality to everything. Something that these upside down men pretending they're women could never do, because the wealth and the life, the luxury that comes from you, the energy, the healing, the birthing of reality, of living life comes from you. And these men wearing the identity of women don't have the power within them, the womb, to utilize the energy correctly. They got to get out. They're not women. Now they may be a perfect replica, you know, because they got the biolab freaking cloning. They call them synthetic synthesizer or whatever the hell. You know, I guess they can make it. All they got to do is tweak the genetics in the womb or in the little pod that they're growing this fetus and still in stagnant water. However, dudes, they're not going to be wearing divine feminine celestial daughters royal golden energy any longer. Oh, you boys like the gold, do you? Well, fuck off. It ain't for ya. Motherfucker. You're getting a new beginning. This is a re-beginning. They are uneasy. They're not getting the prize. They're not getting the wealth. The divine feminine has risen above these men who were beating her, raping her, defiling her, tormenting her, doing baneful magic on her with her own siphoned energy. It's the most heinous and malicious fucking thing ever. They're not men and they're not women. It's an entity in a body that mimics masculinity, but it's not. And it doesn't want to be, but it wants the identity of a woman. It's really weird. It's like this thing. I don't know. It's a principality. It's a dead thing. Something without life in it. I don't know. It's weird. It's not a regular two-spirited person. It's a thing from another dimension here to drain the womb, the wealth of the womb, the wealth of the celestial realms that it's connected to. It's the weirdest thing, man. I don't know what realm or dimension these entities posing as men, dressing as women are from, but they're not from here. And they mind fucked everybody to try to make it so they wanted to be that, so they could kind of blend in, hide. I don't know. Take it as it resonates, man. It's the same way that cannibals decided to grind their sacrifices up in the meat grinder and then make little sausages out of them and sell them to humans so that everybody would be seen as a cannibal and they could create the illusion better. They could hide. So Queen of Cups reverse is really a man from another dimension who may not even be a man. He's wearing a masculine form, but he's wearing a dress, and he's having bad fucking luck with your sovereignty, with you reclaiming your sovereignty. You've got a sixth sense connection to source. They can't shut you up. They're not able to take your crown. They were trying to mess up. They were trying to make you insane. They're worse than the most vicious animal that has been ever created. They have no empathy, they have no morality, they have no honor, they have no love. They call it love, but their words of love are hate. Theft, self-grandeur, and they think they deserve something when they don't deserve shit. They're just mean, vicious, cruel bitches, man. They're the worst fucking bitches I've ever met. These men who are in competition with women, who stick us with knives in the 4D, trying to claim our identity. Who run brothels full of virgins and force them to serve 3 entities at once. And that's what they were going to do to me. So they said, yeah, darling, I remember ya. I remember ya. There is forgiveness in the secret garden over the history of what was done. These people, they infiltrated and then they started mind fucking and implanting and running through thought forms that didn't belong there. It was the atmosphere that had been polluted, and the transmitter receivers, communications devices of source connected beings was picking up as a barometer of the community what was happening. And all of a sudden all this nastiness starts coming through, and rather than find out where is the storm coming from, they accuse the one picking up on the storm. Me, you, other people that have this extra sensory perception, we were accused of what we were picking up on, rather than they saying, whoa, where's that coming from? 6,000 years later, we've got our evidence of the truth of it, okay? So, because of the history of stuff, we've got forgiveness in the secret garden. So, what has been going on here? What has been happening here? It was all baneful magic and identity theft, and they were using the celestials' energy against them to do this binding, cursing, hexing magic. So we've got the moon here. Something's hidden about codependency, or there's somebody in fear of this devil that they've committed to feeding. There's some sacrifices here. They're being let go. They're being offered to the underworld because it was the Egyptian mask. There could be some hidden fear. There could be some deception regarding the devil. We've got discernment. So you have discernment regarding that. And the law and order is here regarding money and reconciliation of the celestial beings. The high priestess, you're ascending. This devil wearing a mask is going back to South Node. Or this whatever, yeah, this person is going back to South Node. Why? Because you were able to stay grounded and connected to the Mother Earth, to the planetary energies of all of the living things with great love and respect, right? Love, honor, respect for that which nourishes us and removes the nasty death energy from our solar plexus that these nasty asses try to give us. And this right here, you know, they can take that too. So because you were able to remain grounded while these people had you contracted to the shadow, look, they had opinions about your love. They needed to break it, shatter it. They needed to control it, feed on it. It has to be low vibrational. You're too powerful. The celestial energy that moves through you shows the entire universe that truth of who you are. They had to keep breaking you so that you would not be seen. So that the religious people and law and order can continue with their fantasy of being valid. You are protected and you have boundaries. So look, armor up. Abundance, you're gentle, you're feeding the animals, you're feeding the children, you're feeding the cow, you're taking care and loving everything. You're set boundaries up here with joy. Of joy. So full of joy. We got a place full of joy here now. The past life magicians that kept divine feminine, high priestesses, high value empresses, high value loving, beautiful, golden light, royal, high celestial beings, apart from their counterpart. These nasty ass siphoners, these magicians, are being laid to rest. Why? Because with your patience, you were able to bring impossibility into alignment. And now, you get to claim your abundance. You are protected in a circle protection. Yeah. So your sleeping spell was fleeting. Their religious authority is fleeting. They're not connected to source. They're devils in an angel's identity. They're gathering sons, inner souls, to come forth for the sacrifice on Sunday, darling, so that we can have eternal life. Yes, that's what these devils need. is a sacrifice of a divine being so they can continue being what they are. They're getting attacked. Fleeting, attacked. The sleeping spell was fleeting. These people who left you stranded are being attacked because of your strength and your balance. It's you. Temperance angel, root and crown, middle ground stabilizer. An offering. The sun made you an offering, a sacrifice. You were made an offering to the root. And it was accepted. And now we have a rebirth. Proper symbiosis is in motion. Everybody's going to go where their frequency match is, and everybody who's wearing somebody else's identity is probably going to be discovered. I heard the other day that anybody who had used the vital force within other people's blood to actually get ahead in the world or to cover themselves or to bring life to themselves there, I don't know what's happening there, but there is some serious trouble going on there. You're the temperance angel. You had to rewrite your mind in order to come back online, and you are protected. They were protected by you. They've lost you. You were innocent. God came and said, what the hell are you doing? And he purified you and proved your innocence. He washed away this shit that they were tormenting you with, layering you with, the blame and the shame and the shit, the energy. The shit wasn't inside of you. What is inside of you is golden, royal, fucking celestial energy. They covered the populace in the blame and the shame and the filth of their fucking sacrifices and perversion. These people were gatekeeping the teachers that were supposed to be gatekeeping the devils. Hello? So the healer has the caretaker healer inspires people. This is golden royal energy. Everything blooms, everything comes to life, everything is full of joy and love. There's no fear, there's no rape, there's no pimping out, there's no slaughterhouse. There's not this shit. It's a community of love that is innocent and pure and kind to the children and the animals. Connected to source. You might be listening to those who have been shattering the hearts, the powerful emerald hearts of divine beings. You might hear them. They hemiseeked. They wanted to connect the celestial realm to the land of the dead. Well, they did. And it's back on. It's back on. The lion made an offering to the jaguar, and the jaguar and the lion are now in connection. Proper things are in connection. These devils wearing angels' dresses are being eliminated out of the celestial council house. And they're being offered to the underworld, and I don't think they're going to be gaining access to telepathy. Yes, because you're about ready to make your move with all of the knowledge that you gained during isolation. They are just up there talking, saying, and you listen to it all. It was all recorded. It was all recorded in a record that these ones could not see, know, comprehend, read, or alter. Only God could. And they're making their move, okay? The celestial realms got that information and they're making their move. They got it all. The lies are seen. It's crazy, man. We've been in competition with men who are actually gay, who actually are from another dimension and who are coming here to to gain the celestial identity and wealth of women here and to destroy them because they don't believe in women and they don't think women should be in heaven. They don't have the ability to manage the power of a woman to bring healing and well-being and life abundant for the people in the community. But they need to hoard it and then pretend that they are this powerful being without actually doing the work or earning the wealth that was meant to do the work. Alrighty then, so their tower for divine feminine is incomplete. These religious people from the past are receiving divine timing, or, you know, it was supposed to be 2023, 2026. God is coming back. Oh yes, this jackass is receiving something in divine timing. Jackass from a religious past was not able to complete sacrificing divine feminine this round. Now he's in trouble. You're getting your life of luxury because you were innocent. They have to go silent in your mind, and yet they don't want to let it go. It doesn't really matter. They say the divine feminine advertises herself. You've got a channel. They may know where you are. They may be stalking you. They may be trying to come to your house to do a thing, but God's watching. And even though they might not have access to your council house any longer, the celestial realms have access to everybody's council house. They got to get out of your head. They don't have any right to be here. All they're doing, all they talk about is, ooh, I like this one. Ooh, I know the first thing I'm going to do to her. They talk about punishing women, capturing, obtaining, kidnapping, ooiciding, replacing, transferring, harvesting, dissolving. It's a crazy freaking fucking heinous, malicious. And they're out there thinking that they're going to steal the identity again. And no, all they're doing is advertising themselves. And they can't help it because they're there falsely. They don't have any control over their voice. They try to go quiet. They can't. They're in somebody else's council house. Whoever this motherfucker is, this jackass, he thinks he has rights to my council house. And he doesn't. He failed in his sacrifice this time with me and most likely others out there. We're all sharing the same story to one degree or another. They got to go silent in the mind. We got Pop the question. They can no longer love bomb people silently in the mind. They can't come into your mind and pretend to be Jesus. They can't come into your mind and pretend to be your celestial kingdom spouse. They can't come into your mind and pretend your dream lover, the one, your lost twin flame. They can't come into your mind in dream time and pop the question and get you to masturbate to pretend that you actually copulated and, what do they call that? You have to have sex in front of somebody in order to, whatever that, you got to prove that you actually did the deed or whatever. So yeah, they've been doing this. They've been getting marriage contracts in the sleeping space while you're asleep getting ready for work the next day. These assholes have been in the 4D space getting people to masturbate and then pretend that you got married. They use the false telepathy to get inside the minds of people that are sweet, innocent, pure, sugary sacrifices. Nastias. They torment people. Anybody who's got temperance and joy in their mind, they want to get a hold of them, get their attachment to them, and then offload the torment into them so that they can then get them to be seen as that and then rejected out, never to come back because they can't control their mind. They're full of rage. They're angry all the time. Well, no, they're not, man. What a fancy illusion these blokes created for everyone, didn't they? They're so fancy. Tormenting. They kept pouring in toxic lifestyle thoughts, urges, addictive drives, whatever, alcohol, to open your mind and then to fuck up your life. They might be being tormented right now. Things might be falling apart for them because they failed to sacrifice you. They could be out drinking right now, which would be really bad because that they're just opening all their gates, and all the devils and that they've been playing with are going to come in and have a great time. They're going to be destroyed. The King of Wands had a weak ass performance of this high priestess. And now they're being blocked. The Knight of Pentacles has persevered through this enterprise, this research, this collaboration to pull forth the evidence and the photographic evidence of what's been happening under the moon, what has been hidden to the women under the moon, the hidden and children, the hidden women and children. So he's been doing an enterprise, a research program to gain evidence of what's been happening to these people. And when I woke up this morning, I heard, what have you been doing to these people? I mean, the illusions are all cracking. Everything's crashing. All of the truth is like rising. These guys are screwed. 6,000 years of lies coming undone. 6,000 lies of heinous, malicious brutality against beautiful purity of the celestial children. We're saying goodbye. So we've done our research. The analysis has been done. Folks are going to be held accountable for what they have done. They'll be held responsible. You found the key people and the core of the problem. The fake angels are going to South Node. They've all been flipped on their head. They're going to be held responsible. Thank you. I'm going to put that back because I think it was an accident. My hands kind of got... Funeral. Well, already then, they're going into the funeral. Don't tell you. South Node. Those angels, or those devils that have been wearing the identity of an angel are going into the funeral. You found the key people, the core of the problem. They will be held responsible for what they have done here. Page of Wands has clarity of this failure, and we are letting go of the forgotten person by speaking up. They can see that the light, the energy, the source of this wealth, this energy, this powerful celestial golden energy is coming from you. It was never coming from this King of Wands who has a weak ass performance of a high priestess. Yeah. Here are heartbroken. This immaturity is heartbroken. That you speak up and everything you touch turns to gold. Everything you say brings life to the growth around you. And it's crazy. how, the collective tried to love people and accept people for who they are. Unfortunately, there's a blend of folks within a system of folks that they were hiding behind. So these nasty asses created LGBTQ, right? When we're already got two-spirited people who are source-connected and very divinely sacred way. But then you got these nasty asses from another dimensional space coming here to attack the women, to try to destroy them, while gender altering the men with chemicals to flip them into women, so that we could all fight together and they could just overtake the celestial realm and kick all the women out and make them go extinct. It's just crazy. Well, now they are extinct because they lost their birthing people, and they've lost their connection to the celestial realms. They're going to have really bad luck coming to them for a very, very long time from these sovereign people. You are claiming your sovereignty. You are intuitively connected. There is forgiveness within and the reestablishment of the rainbow covenant for you in the secret garden. Forgiveness for the history of what they said you did, or for detaching the queen bee. All right. So 6,000 years ago, the queen bee was accused of doing something, and then they tortured her to death, and they banished her, and they've been torturing her for 6,000 years. There is forgiveness here in the secret garden for the history of detaching the queen bee. So she's forgiving people. She's been forgiving. It's like that you're bringing forth the truth of it. Whatever she said way back then and tried to warn of has been proven, and we've got forgiveness. So that's the thing about upper dimensional spaces and true divine beings. They forgive, and they're not out there shaming people about it. It's just something that naturally occurs, This low vibrational judgment and blame, it doesn't happen there. You got forgiveness regarding the memories. Whatever the memory was of the secret garden, there's forgiveness for the queen bee. Whatever that was that caused this torturous, brutal death and banishment from the garden, she's been vindicated, found innocent of. And these jackass tortured her for 6,000 years. It doesn't matter how many times he killed her and she reincarnated. It was 6,000 years of constant torture. And you know why she died? Because they tortured her to death. Thousands of times. Trying to destroy her soul and her mind. It was a lie. And there's a whole lot of bad shit that's going to come down the pike for these people. Everything they did to this woman is going to be done to them. So we've got fear and anxiety of the codependent people, or somebody's afraid of the devil. Somebody's afraid because, I think somebody's afraid. There's fear in the codependent people because you have separated fantasy from reality. The scales are being balanced regarding the finances, regarding the wealth that comes from you. And you are reconciled with your person. There's forgiveness for whatever it was long ago in the past. And you are ascending. You're going back home. And whatever these devils are these wearing angels' identities, they're being found and they're being evicted. Everything is being reset. And we've got stabilization. Everything is being made stable. Reconnected to the Mother Earth, reconnected to that healing energy, the High Priestess energy. The Queen Bee is coming home. Folks are losing sleep. They're very worried, and they should be. They're up there right now, and they're strategizing. They're trying to be quiet, but they're still there. And strategizing on how to get rid of this woman, how to replace her. They want to they want to transfer themselves into her vessel. And the problem is that her energy is identifiable. And if they try to fuck around with this energy, it's going to be instant freaking karma. It's already bad, man. It's already so bad. Shocking news. Those who participated in the reckless love scenario are having a mental breakdown. Everybody who tried to destroy your mind, drive you insane, and destroy your light, your inner light, it's all coming back on them. They could be drinking. They didn't do shit. They didn't do any shadow work. They didn't create. They didn't produce. They didn't share. They took credit for other people's creations and then they made a profit off of it. And then they trapped them in here. So the people who were trapped in this illusion, the prisoners that were tormented in their minds, that were cut off from source while they hexed and cursed their crowns, interpreted their mental messaging, their intellectual property, and then made a whole fucking thing while they trapped the energy of this person. They're drinking. These people who didn't do shit, they're drinking. It was a fantasy, man. They're getting rejected because they don't have, this light isn't theirs. The light isn't theirs. It was never theirs. The youngers are calling this curator, and I haven't heard the curator today, interestingly enough. But there's still connection, and he's the one with the connection. So that leads me to believe that they're either really trying to be quiet with their assassination scheme, or they're actually being forced out, which is what this is. You're getting your wish. Mr. Arrogant My Way or the Highway, their true colors are seen. They're not an established divine masculine. They're an arrogant devil wearing an angel's identity and gown. They're not happy. The sex addict is not happy. They'll rot without that. These are people who don't have a rainbow chakra or a covenant. They don't have this solar power inside of them. They're not connected to the sun. They're not be able to supply their own energy. They got to get it from having sex, and they're not happy. They're not even part of this family. They're saying that they're this family, but they've replaced everybody in this family. They sacrificed everybody in this family and took their life path. How did they do it? Their favorite weapon of war is romance, is relationship. Marrying into the clan that they wanted to consume and become. It's bad news for them. It's too late for them. Because the twin flames are married. Or they will be. We're closing this cycle of the fake spiritual fucking pimp, prostitute, guru, whatever the hell, feeding on the high priestesses and the empresses and the loving divine feminines. Sodomizing the corpuscles out of the freaking children, you bastards. They're feeling like shit. They're getting, because they're getting arrested for bumping heads with divine feminine and then assuming their identity and being malicious and vile and judgmental and cruel, and they reduce everybody around them. They're wearing the energy of a high priestess and the identity, and yet they run around snotty little fucks reducing everybody around them. And that's not what high priestesses do. Excuse me. That's not what upper celestial soprano royal golden ones do. We're fed up. God is fed up. Those are exactly what he said 2 years ago when it could have been, wait, this is July. 25 months ago, that's exactly the vision I saw. And now we got legal stuff going on. Criminal, trafficking, paternal, bad. There's bad stuff. This love, hate. These people pretend to love, but they actually hate, and they fill the world with crap. They were spying on people with spiritual gifts from secret accounts, and then they were trapping them into the marriage contract. These people are unemployed. They've never worked a day in their life. They're having massive regrets for consuming the illuminated ones. The truth has been exposed, and they are ashamed and embarrassed for getting readings on people and then setting them up for sacrifice. You are free and you are moving on. You're being let go. Yeah. They cannot keep you. They're trying to do a thing. They're going to, their royal mother said to be prepared. They're not going to survive. So they're going to try to do a thing, and they're going to be throwing away their life. Now, I keep saying this because I'm hoping that people will choose to love the life that they have and not continue to throw it away. Because they're not taking my life, and they're not taking Divine Feminine's life this cycle. Divine Feminine, the true Divine Feminine, is being reunited with the true Divine Masculine. The jackass, I'm gonna tell you, man. So the tower was incomplete. The religious people of the past are receiving some kind of divine whatever the hell. It's the wrong time, jackass. You know what this says? This says God did not ghost you. God didn't ghost you this time. He blocked this jackass for you. God made sure that this jackass was not going to trap you in the pits of hell this time. God said, not this time, jackass. We're not going to be fucking around with this devil fire, pretending that you're a damn worthy man. So the Divine Feminine's coming into a 9 of Pentacles, life of luxury. You are innocent. The wealth is yours. The energy was always yours. It's manifested by you. And these assholes are out there unaliving people, trying to unalive you, using their energy to do baneful magic to trap you. And God is like, what the hell are you doing? I told you not to touch this when I am master. He sanctified you, purified you, proved your innocence. And they're like, dude, 6,000 years of torture on an innocent person? And I'm speaking singular, but there are many, okay? There's many. They're going to go silent in your mind. You're going to get married. Maybe you are married. Maybe you will. We got pop the question. Pop the question. What is this? You're no longer accepting the bare minimum, and God is no longer giving you the bare minimum. The truth is seen here, and God said, not this time. He's fed up. He's given you, he said, so they've been told that they had you in the palm of their hands, and that they had many chances to get with you and increase, but they also failed many times to choose to do so. They continued in their endeavor to trap and ensnare and torture divine feminine. And they were getting off on it. It excited them. They can't be called men. Men don't behave that way. Only those whack jobs from another dimensional space here acting like men just so they can shag a divine woman so that they can tap into her spiritual identity and then flip her into South Node and then take her North Node position as a queen wearing a crown. Look at the historical pictures, darling. And you wonder, who did they unalive so that they could wear that fucking crown? So you're no longer taking bare minimum. They cast a lot of illusions and drove a lot of shit through the minds of divine females. Men too. But you'll see a lot of them are the females. They're trying to sacrifice them. They like to give it a name. They like to call us this. They like to call us that. They like to call us insane, crazy, needing institutionalized, which they've been doing for centuries while they have their rape fest behind locked doors with a bound woman, tortured, tormented for their pleasure and their glory. They're getting deleted. They're getting deleted by divine feminine who is victorious over these frauds, and there's no coming back. It is a detachment and a release. King of Wands had a real weak ass performance of this high priestess, and they're getting blocked. And let go already, you freak. You fucking freak, man. What's wrong with you? Freaking delusion. Go back to your realm. Go back to where it is you come from. I don't know. I don't think that's going to be possible because God is sacrificing these people to the underworld. For every celestial child that they gave a full fucking rape fest load to before sending it to the underworld, while stepping in to the spiritual identity and siphoning off of them in this upper space. Oh, you bitches. Fuck off. God's gonna chew you up. And somebody is gonna spit you out. Yes, because everything that they did to the divine feminine, to the children, all the gender altering to the men to try to turn them into their bitches in competition with the women, to put them into a war with each other, divide and conquer. Root and crown. You need both, man. It's so wild. I just don't care how they think about me. I just don't. I'm sick of it. Your pain isn't content, and these people are screaming. They don't know what you did to get out of it. They're like, wait. You didn't announce your healing. You didn't pop out until like 20 plus years after your suffering. They were not expecting this. They're going into the coffin. They're going into the coffin. They're of their own creation. Thank you. So they're heartbroken because you stopped mistaking chaos for chemistry, meaning You stopped having sex with these fuckers. You're celibate. And they're heartbroken because you're speaking up with your pure divine energy. They couldn't download their devil shit into you. Your energy is pure, and when you speak, it's clear. You're not what they said you are, and you're not anything like them. The sad thing is that we tried to love them. We really did love them. But what they presented to us was a lie. We loved their illusion. So we're getting rest and renewal. This is the end of this shit. You got victory over the men who were competing with you, women. You're getting a new beginning, and they're at unease. They're uneasy because you're the main character. You have a victory over the men who were competing with you for your identity. You have a victory over the women who were helping them collect your energy and do the orgies to defile you because they were going to get some status increase or whatever. They're uneasy because you are the main character. You went under a transformation and you've got to come back, and they're like, oh shit. I heard these people say, well, we're going to have to put up with the Marys for a while. Well, no, you fucking won't. You're going to get out of Mary's house, devil. You're not going to be running no prostitution rings in Mary's house anymore. You're going to get out, devil. You're going to get out. You're the main character. Queen of Cups in the reverse is a man. Is going to be having bad fucking luck. It could be a woman, but they did some weird shit with their genetics, man. So they blended things strangely, and I don't know what to tell you about that. So they're having bad luck because you have reclaimed your sovereignty. You are connected to Source, and there is forgiveness in the secret garden over the history of the ghosting of the queen bee. Self-love looks good on you, and you've got your glow up, and it is what it is. You are who you are. You're identifiable. And these people want to be you so bad, but they're nothing like you. So they're afraid of the devil that they contracted with. There could be some kind of fear regarding codependent people because you have distinguished fantasy from reality. And you have gained the power to make realistic choices. The scales are being balanced regarding the finances. You are reconciled under the rainbow with the divine realm queen, and you are ascending. You're being promoted. Yesterday's read was there's like double high priestess status now. Like she has learned so many skills through the tragic experience here. So somebody can't sleep. They got shocking news. Those who were involved in the reckless sex, prostitution, gigolo, energy harvesting, bullshit artistry are undergoing mental trauma, karmic drama, and endings. Twitter was not your therapist. You did not cry about it. You were quiet. You continued to work, even though they told the world that you were dead. You managed yourself, your house. You didn't go crazy. You weren't institutionalized, and you most certainly were not in a coffin. You were posting on social media, and you did not post about the trauma, the drama, this shit that they were doing to you, trying to sacrifice you. You were not even talking about it. You moved through it like a champ. You managed yourself well, and now things are falling apart for these people with a toxic lifestyle. They're getting deleted. They can't do what you do. They can't do what you did. They don't even know what you did. They can't say that they overcame the challenge as you. They can't mimic you. You didn't talk about it. And they didn't watch because they filed a death certificate and assumed you were a goner. And now everything that they did with full intention to destroy you is coming back on them. They will be held accountable. That was sober you. It was their lazy way to the top. They say, does she meditate? Does she meditate? He taps into other people's minds. He's going to get blocked. He's going silent. And he can't sleep. And spiritual glow-ups don't come with filters. They're crying. Look at them. Mr. My life is the best life, and her life. I'm the high priestess. Now they can't sleep. They're like, oh shit. They're losing signal. They can't tap into the mind, the council house of the golden royal celestial kingdom. They're no longer going to be tapping into the mind of that realm. They're no longer going to tap into the mind of the golden ones, of the queen bee. They got to get out of the royal council house. Those who were stingy with everything that they stole are going silent. They're losing their capacity to gain access to the celestial mind. And everything that they did to you is going to go back on them. Everything that happened to this queen from the beginning to the end is going to go back on them. Whatever they ghosted her for, whatever they tortured her to death for, she was innocent. She might have even asked, why have you forsaken me? What have I done to deserve this? Why are you torturing me to death? Now, somebody needs advice. Somebody needs advice. They're like, oh shit, they're losing signal. They can't mimic you. They can't tap into your memory. They can't tap into your daily moment by moment. They can't talk about it. Silence. Love don't pay the rent means silence. Silence is golden. The golden rule, do unto others as you'd have them do unto you. And in the royal council house of the celestial beings, it is silent. And the communications that we receive are typically pictograph or silent flashes of words, or it's a different kind of a communication than this whack job AI bringing towers to the fucking tower, to the mind. Noise, 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 noise. Constant. That's not the celestial golden realm. That's not its typical state. That's not true telepathy. True telepathy hits the solar plexus. The solar plexus is silent and felt by the chakra, the covenant. That's the communication. This is the sensory perception of the interferer. If there's noise and commotion and chaos here, it's because this is present. And you're here setting boundaries so that it doesn't enter the territory. You're the barometer for what is in the air of the community. As an empath, as a psychic, what? You're picking up on other people's thoughts. And the only thoughts that you're going to pick up on is this kind of shit, because golden communication is non-invasive. It flows very gently, like a stream. It doesn't hurt. So yes, it hurts. And no, you're not dying. You're letting go of the dead weight. They're sick about it. They're screaming about it. You're letting it go. You've been carrying it too long, and you're letting it go because these people aren't devoted to shit. They're just up there spending celestial wealth, ridiculing and judging unfairly, and trying to keep low everybody else who actually deserves to be there. Messy does not mean powerless. And this person that's been mimicking you is like, what? What? Yeah, you're burning that shit. You're burning that shit. Souvenirs from heartbreaks do not age well. It was a bad, bad decision, Nasty Jack. And now you can fuck right off because you're not allowed in this energy anymore. And you will not be served by it nor receive charity. Isn't that fun? Netflix jail porn queen fucking identity thief. Fuck off. We're saying no, you're not gonna be there in this upper dimensional space of high value souls. There's nothing better than saying no, because we're not on clearance and we're not giving our ticket away to fucking devils. Fucking assholes. We barely made it out alive. We're not making decisions based in fear anymore. And we're no longer giving idiots spiritual credit in the golden realm. Fuck off, bitch! The story flopped, Nasty Jack. And no one is coming to steal Divine Feminine spotlight this time. The universe is not giving them back. They don't trust the chaos of you anymore. Why? You did not heed their counsel. Instead, you sponsored a circus. And you treated divinity, who you were graced and blessed with presence of, like they were a dime a dozen. You replaced them with a copycat, a fake version, while you left them alone and took everything from them. So you're losing signal. Because you don't do laundry and you hold yourself at half-mast all the fucking time. Nobody wants a half-mast swinger running around telling the world should salute them for their sacrifice. Fuck off, darling. I'm feeling so snotty. I don't have a price, Rainbow Dragon. I pay the price. I pay the price, man. I go without and I pay the price. But now God says I don't have to anymore. So their effort, their tower is incomplete. They were not able to sacrifice divine feminine. The jackass is being rejected, and God is blocking him for you. Why? Because he cares. God is blocking the jackass for you because he cares. You are escaping the dream weaver. God is taking you away from the dream weaver. You're getting your 9 of Pentacles because you are innocent. These people are going to go silent out of your mind. They're going to leave your council house. You're done accepting the bare minimum, and somebody's going to pop the question. Unexpected income. So they were casting illusions and trying to drive divine feminine insane, to sacrifice them, to blind them, to torture them. Things are falling apart for these people who lead a toxic lifestyle. They are being detached, released, deleted. Because you have dispelled the illusion. You survived the statute of limitations, and you have been proven innocent. You have received 6,000 years of torture, and you were innocent. You survived the statute of limitations, and you have been proven innocent. Everything that they did to you is now going to be done to them. And they went over and above. There were hundreds, if not thousands of people throwing this shit at you. Not just in one lifetime, in many. And not only did they just throw this magical shit at you, but they violated your baby body sexually. Hundreds of these people violating your rainbow chakra, your covenant, your energy center, your inner soul. And then they raped your mind. They thought they had destroyed you, inner, eternal. This King of Wands has a really weak-ass performance of a High Priestess. They're getting blocked. And it's like, let go already, you piece of shit. We're about ready to take flight. Oh, shit! Let go already. You're taking flight. Something's coming in hot for this shithead. See, they thought that they were going to cast everybody into a fire and that they were going to harvest the inner soul, the inner sun out of humanity, and then command the celestial kingdom that they hail from. That fire eternity that they had planned for us is going back on them. This Knight of Pentacles has a worldwide enterprise of researching everything regarding the history of what's been happening under the moon regarding women and children. They're saying goodbye, and all this other shit, all the things that they did is coming back on them. Retrograde. This nasty jack. This jackass. This King of Wands who had a weak performance of a High Priestess. He was not telling the truth. He lied about everything. There's no hope for this person. He has no hope. The wheel is going to turn. And all of that confusion, all of the word magic, all of the lies, it was going to come back on him. He has to be held responsible for everything that he put into the mirror or of others. And he put a lot of shit into the mirror of all of us humans. They and their friends. Rainbow Dragon, when I am, every morning I open my eyes and man, so the analysis has been done. The Hermit has done the research. These people are in remorse. They will be held accountable and have to accept responsibility for what they have done. You found the key people, the core of the problem regarding the devils wearing angelic gowns. They're being flipped and going back into the South Node. There's a funeral. They're being sacrificed to the underworld. These people are looking at your journey. You did not talk about what was happening to you, and no matter what they do, they can't undo it. Your growth happened in the silence. They thought you were dead. 21 years ago, they filed the death certificate, and they really thought that you were dead. But you popped up over the last couple of years or whatever it was, and they did not see it coming. They were not prepared for that. It's game over. So this Page of Wands is getting clarity regarding this failure. We're letting go of a forgotten person. They're being released. We're no longer mistaking chaos, devil energy, this angry sex or devil sex or whatever, for chemistry. They're heartbroken because you have spoken up and everything is seen clearly. Sit, watch, observe, making your move. You're resting. It's time for you to heal. We're bringing an end to this nastiness. You've got a victory here. Your will is strong and your path is clear. You're getting a new beginning. These people are uneasy because you are the main character, Divine Feminine. These nasty ass jacks did not take your honor or your glory in this new chapter. They're in rage and confusion because over getting exposed. Look, man, I'm not kidding. I can't make it up. You're the main character. Well, Jenna, I don't particularly care for that. I'm just going to let you go, babe. So they're uneasy because you are the main character, Divine Feminine. You're getting a new beginning. You've got a victory here. God has said enough is enough. He's fed up with it. They're getting exposed. They went the wrong way. They chose to torture you, hate you, siphon you, steal from you, slander you, and now they're raged and confused because they're getting a coffin. The devils wearing angels' robes are going into the coffin. There is funeral here for them. This is over. It's over. Raged and confused. The Queen of Cups in the reverse is having some bad luck. They're remembering that everything is temporary. They're having bad luck because you reclaimed your sovereignty and your personal power. You've overcome dependencies and toxic behaviors. Some people like to slander natural medicines by what these nasty asses have tried to portray it as over the many years of history. They much rather get people put on this synthetic medicine because it has graphene in it, and they can alter people's emotional body and their mental body and the waters of their body with this graphene. They can hit it with a frequency and they can program it. And so they wanted everybody on the synthetics, and anybody using naturopathy or any other components of any other medicines that they have vilified or made illegal or whatever the hell, you know, it's just a twisted thing. And if you want to get on here and talk shit, I'm just going to block you because I'm done. So anyway, they're having bad luck because you have reclaimed your sovereignty. You are connected to source. There is forgiveness in the secret garden toward the history of why this queen bee was sacrificed, ghosted, tortured for 6,000 years. She's glowing. Self-love looks good on her. She loves everybody else. The whole thing was a grand illusion so that these people could sacrifice and bind this woman and use her divinity to gather presence in the celestial realms and then feed on everybody, fuck everybody's mind over, suck the life out of them, you know, replace them with devil lookalikes. I mean, it became, they let go of this woman and everything, and whoever she was connected to. Here. The Alpha Omega. The Alpha Omega. So somebody's got some sad news. They might be getting sad news in a message. Yeah, because your glow is like right there, man. Somebody's getting certified mail. There's forgiveness in the secret garden regarding the history, the reasoning behind ghosting the queen bee. So there's fear and anxiety regarding the devil codependent people because you have distinguished the fantasy from the reality and you have the power to make realistic choices. The scales are being balanced regarding the financials. You're reconciled with your upper dimensional person, your celestial person. You are ascending, being promoted. You're grounded with the earth. You're connected to the all that is with the mother. You are a planetary stabilizer. These people are losing sleep. This is shocking news. These reckless sex, nasty ass energy defilers in the celestial realm. Man, this is supposed to be a place of purity and powerful celestial energy. And they just came in there with all of their fucking attachments and defiled everybody with this shit, man. They just defiled everybody with this shit. They offloaded their devil attachments. They plugged into that rainbow covenant and the spiritual identity. It would gain a marriage contract, and then on the first year anniversary, sacrifice them out and replace them with a devil lookalike wearing a dress. They're going back where they came from because this is what they were doing to their marriages. It's over. It's over. Imprisonment. They're going to prison. They're not getting what they expected, or the Jezebel isn't getting what they expected. They're not taking your identity. They're going to prison. Why? Because you have soul activation. Whoever this person is, it's a king of wands with a weak performance of a high priestess. It's a man wearing the identity of a high priestess, and it's a weak performance. You've dispelled the illusion. Yeah, they were tormenting your mind, and whoever put this person in charge of translating your intellectual property and your messaging to replace you and then to assume the role of this planetary stabilizer, yeah, they're in trouble too. They're like, now they're bitching at him, and they're saying, this wasn't a part. You weren't supposed to drive her. You weren't supposed to drive her insane or try to drive her insane. You weren't supposed to be doing this and doing that, filing false reporting, siphoning everybody, doing all this horrendous stuff. They weren't supposed to be doing that. They had a specific agenda and they failed. So you're taking a step back, withdrawing and evaluating, you're reflecting and gaining a new perspective. There could be a pause regarding the animal. Your soul has been activated. Now, these people saw us as animals for a harvest. These devils, in a stolen identity, saw the celestial beings as their harvest. They knocked us down here after sacrifice, took our identity, and then said we were nothing more than an animal for their pleasure and service. Man, are you kidding me? We got Northern Lights. Yeah, they were fighting with the Northern Lights. Ego versus heart. Those who love, those who are faithful, those who are loyal, those gentle souls that don't want to live in a community that's got a constant bloodbath going, that's got constant rage shit going through their mind. These people did the worst, man. Mocking you, trying to disguise their fear. They did not get sudden wealth, and there's no honor in what is ending here. God help anyone who disrespected the queen. That's like, do not enter. They're not coming back. They're not coming back. And they won't be getting up from this. There could be some magic of the nymphs, whatever that is. We got diluted attachments. We got 2 bodies, 1 soul. And this is where it's at. In the secret garden. All right. I'm just going to leave it at that, because that's where it's at. And they don't own the queen high priestess anymore. They don't own her anymore. She's back. Yeah, whoever they are, they're going away. They're getting off planet. They got to go. All right, everybody. Well, that is the message. I think it's fairly clear. Somebody's leaving. They got to get out of here. They're being offered, it looks to me, to the Egyptians, to the underworld. God said that they were the new fodder. These people that have been feeding on the high priestess queen, these people who have been feeding on the children and doing whatever they've been doing, they're the new fodder. And everything that they did, as scary, as terrifying, and painful as it was. And it's sad because they're asking her for forgiveness. And forgiveness is like letting go of it, because there is finally somebody here to protect divine feminine, right? And divine feminine was told that she had been too forgiving. She had been giving and giving and giving and taking on the burden and taking on the burden and the torment and the torment and the torment and forgiving and forgiving. And she was so fucking kind. And these people kept sacrificing her and sacrificing her and sacrificing her and tormenting and tormenting and tormenting and laying the shame and the blame of their toxic lifestyle onto her. And it was an illusion, man. She never lived that life. It was an illusion. Even if her memory says that that was what she was, it's a lie. It's a mental illusion of the matrix. So that's that. I'm going to go ahead and turn this one off. I do hope that all of you had a beautiful day, and I wish you a very wonderful evening. Yeah. Not this time. See y'all later.